Good afternoon, folks, and thanks for joining us. My name is Tim Wheaton, and welcome to Kickin' It with Tim and the Mechanic. I'm Tim, he's the Mechanic. Brandon Cuttino, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. Ready to talk some kickboxing with you. It's always a pleasure hanging with you.
Absolutely. And we have a special guest on the show today. I think most of you probably know him already. Ron from VechtSport. Please introduce yourself. Ron, how you doing today? All that good stuff.
Well, we're doing fine, man. We're following the news all day because, we're Dutch-based, so we got a lot of fights coming in from Glory. Of course, we watch the Dutch fighters, but also, of course, the Dutch Moroccans and all the fighters. And it's a really big week coming up this weekend, so following up to the news, man.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a busy one, and it's a busy one for the last couple of weeks. It's a busy one going forward. So, gentlemen, I'd love to small talk all day with y'all, but let's just jump right into it. We had a few Enfusion shows, we had some One Championship action, and then of course this weekend we have Glory Collision 4. We're going to be covering all of it off. Timestamps will be down below. Let's start with the show that we missed and we didn't get to cover off with Glory Rivals 2 and Enfusion 1-1-10. Andy Sembler just looked absolutely unbelievably flawless. Right hook knockout in round 3. We always knew the sky's the limit for Andy Sembler. Ron, I'll start with you. You're the guest on the show. What did you think of his fight, of his last win?
Well, the guy seems to be unstoppable, He's got a good tactics, he's got a good eye. And even when he was fighting at Enfusion, the guy's nearly unbeatable. And if you know that the guy works at a fast food place, and he's some sort of cook, but he's got all those talents in the ring, man. It's amazing to see how that guy fights. And I'm glad that Glory, pulled him in, because not for Enfusion, because Enfusion is a really good organization, but you see, for the big platform, and with the new broadcast rights they have around the world, it's good for him also to be there. So I think he made his point in that fight.
Oh, I think so as well. And it was a great, I was, and he kept getting injuries, the fights kept getting canceled. So finally he got this fight done. Brandon, what were your thoughts on this fight? I know you watched it. I know you were a fan.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, Andy Sembler came in, did what he was supposed to do. Like I said, I think his opponent took this fight on short week's notice. Like I said, he kept on having matches, but then his opponents would fall out because of something. But this guy stepped up. Andy Sembler went in, got him out of there. Hit him with the 1-2. And he kept his calm, kept his cool. I think people kind of maybe thought he was going to get him out in the first round. But hey, man, credit to his opponent. His opponent is no slouch. He has plenty of experience, and he came into the fight. But I think Sembler got him out there, and was it the third round? I think so. So I mean, kudos to him. I'm glad that he is getting the next title shot. I think he's well deserved. So I will definitely be looking forward to that one.
Oh, man, it's looking good. Finally, we got the welterweight title pick. It only took us a year, but we got the welterweight title picture finally moving forward, right? But yeah, Andy Sembler is well-deserved to be facing the title shot. Also, in the Enfusion 1-1-10, we had Martin Terpstra, and I'm sorry about my enunciations. You guys know me.
That's good, man.
Thanks,
the Dutch is really good. The Dutch is really good. You're coming over so much time here, man. You're just like us, so it's good.
Every time I try Dutch, they laugh at me, so I don't know if it's actually good or not. I don't think it is. He defeated via knockout Nidal Bakiri. This was again in round 3, and this was for the vacant Enfusion Heavyweight World Championship. Brandon, did you catch the fight? What did you think of this one?
Yeah, no, like I said, I think we had talked about this fight. I think I was leaning towards Terpstra because I remember telling he's a tall guy, so I was thinking of his length. But to me, man, his opponent was it how you say his name again?
Bishri.
Not Terpstra.
Martin Terpstra?
Yeah, no, his opponent.
Oh, Nidal Bakiri, I think.
Yeah, Bakiri. Yeah. So I mean, Bakiri did not seem like himself. Like they were kind of saying it on the broadcast. I don't know if he was hurt or man, he just wasn't training, because he did look out of shape, and Terpstra just kind of took care of business and he got him out of there.
No, yeah, absolutely. Took care of business. Ron, what were your thoughts on this fight as well?
Well, just like Brent said, there's a really big guy, and some people also said maybe he could fight Rico Verhoeven as one of the candidates, and I know he, in one of the local newspapers, he told here in Holland, he told the news that he would love to fight Rico one day, but he's a real big guy, and if you saw him in that ring, and man, his rival didn't stand any chance, and he made good use, I think, of his length and his body strength. And, his rival didn't have his day, because that's a good fighter as well, But for that day, he came out as a winner, man.
Yep.
Man, everyone wants Rico. I want Rico. I'm 66 kilograms. I want Rico.
Well, I talked to Rico last week, for his own event, Hit It. And, I asked him what he thinks about all those people, calling out his name. He said,
Yep.
just let them all come, But I think he's really picky because he knows there are 2 big candidates, watching him, maybe 3. So let's see what happens, man. Let him finish his fight with Hesdy and see what happens then. He's going to fight in 2023, he told me. So I think in the first quarter of the year they're playing it.
So do you know how many times he's looking to fight in 2023? Is he just looking to do once as is normal, or does he want to do twice? Because he's got enough contenders at this point.
Yeah, I don't think, just like you said, there are a lot of contenders, but the big comment that he always gets is that he fights only once a year, But man, we were there at the rehearsal fights, man, if you see those kicks that guy has and the punches, man, like bombs, so hard, it was going like boom, boom, and everybody, all the press was like this, we got the mainstream there, and they were, what's happening here? What's Rico doing? And he's ready for everybody. But is everybody ready for him? Because a lot of people shout his name out, but it's going to be difficult. Just so what happened with Jamal, that guy is a real good fighter. But at the end, it's always Rico's winning. And to see maybe 1 fight, 2 fights, and I think then he will maybe stop. Then his 10 years are full. So let's see what happens.
Well, he's got a good career outside of prize fighting. And I think the idea behind prize fighting is like make your money for a bit and then get out. But like if he takes a couple more fights, he seems like a fairly solid celebrity. As in, I know a lot of Dutch people, and they actually know his name, and they don't know anybody else in kickboxing, and that's fine. Brandon, you and I have talked about the Plazabot fight. Like, what do you think of Plazabot and Rico Verhoeven? Like, who do you pick in this one? And let's say it actually gets set up, or like for whatever reason Jamal Ben Sadiq drops out, or something happens. What are your thoughts on that fight?
On me? Oh,
yeah.
No. I'm down. I am so down for the Plazabot fight. Like, we truly think that he really is the number 1 contender. He should be the guy that should get the next shot. But now, man, with what Scott Rutman came out saying, like how Plazabot and Jamal Ben Sadiq aren't going to fight each other. Until they fight each other, they're not going to fight in glory. Until then. So that's just more drama. Going down in the heavyweight division.
I just want them all to fight. Just put their names in a hat and make them all fight. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so Glory Rivals 2, Enfusion 1-110. We also had some people like Jos van Beltsen, and there was also Mohammed Simsek I saw we talked about in the Hepcraft. Ibrahim. Ron, I'll open the floor to you here. Any other fights that you want to talk about on these cards before we move forward?
Well, I think we've got the main people from the cards, that stood out a lot. And I want to come back to Andy Semele because... did you see the last fight of Tayfun Özkan at 1 against Martin?
Yeah. Yep.
I hope that Andy is going to contain his strength, because you see what happens when you are fighting on a bigger platform, because you can be a big champ somewhere else and you can go to another organization and somebody wipes you out, if it's fair or not, So I hope he can keep his cool because I think there's a lot of potential in that guy. So let's see what happens.
I completely agree with you. I'd love to see it. And he's so talented. He's so nice as well. Brandon, what are your thoughts? Any other fights on the card that stuck out to you?
Yeah, man. You know me, man. King of the lady fights. I gotta shout out my girl Dejong. She came back, off of injury and everything like that. She looked real sharp, man. Did her thing, like no hesitation. Just went out, total domination. Won. She just won each and every round. It's good to see her back. And then my eyes got opened up by the flyweight world title with Delum versus was it Canart? But Delum, man, she looked phenomenal. I think she could be somebody down the road. Let me get some fights in before we start talking about her versus Tiffany Van Soos. Because like me and you talked about, to me these guys in Enfusion, they become champions here. They maybe defend the belt 1 or 2 times, and next thing you know, they're in glory. So that's where I'm kind of looking for maybe Terpstra. You know, he's the heavyweight champ. Maybe defend it 1 or 2 times, and then boom, next you know, he's in glory, just like how Levi Rickers is.
Co-sign on all the points. Absolutely agree with you. Let's move forward. Love Enfusion. Enfusion had a ton of other shows. They also had Enfusion 1-112 and 1-11. The bad boy, Dennis I won't risk it. But Dennis got a win in the featherweight world title fight via round 1 knockout. We also had Muhammad Touchasi. Brandon, what are your thoughts on Muhammad Touchasi getting another win here?
I mean, Touchasi, man, dude, he's just been doing his thing, man. Like, to me, he's somebody who, like, I think we all have his eyes on, like, yo, just like similar, like, this guy should probably be in glory, I think it's time to get him over there, give him the bigger stage, to get that media support and everything like that. But I mean, Touchasi just doing his thing, man. He's going out there and getting W's.
Oh, absolutely. Did you not call out Touchasi? Am I imagining things? Didn't you call him out?
Oh, hey, bro, that's a different weight class, my guy. That's a different weight class.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of somebody else. I thought you did. Never mind. I thought. All right, Ron. We had Enfusion 1-1, 111 and 112. What fight stuck out to you? What do you want to talk about? What did you see on these ones?
Well, I didn't follow those two really close because I was really busy with some other stuff. But
absolutely,
I'm thinking about the Turkish guy. What's his name? Sinsak or something? That let me see. What is his name?
Is it Mohammed Simsak you're thinking of?
Yeah. That oh man, that guy. He goes like a storm in that ring, and I think that he has got a lot of potential as well because he's good in the hands, and he's got some stamina coming in, and people booed him when he won. A lot of people booed him, and I don't think that's right because the guy, he beat his rival fair and square, and that fight is still on my mind because I love to do an interview with that guy one day because I think he's going to be maybe the next Tayfun Özkan for Enfusion if he goes through. So that's a fighter that stands out for me.
Oh, Mohammed Simsak is full of talent. Absolutely, he's a gentleman that we've talked about before as well. Brandon, you and I have talked about him previously. He's a super talented kid, right?
Yep, he's very talented, man. Has knockout power, man. Just goes out and just does his thing. I mean, he's a quiet guy, outside. Like saying he does his talking in the ring.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to move forward. We have so much to talk about, guy. We have so much going on. One championship, as you said, Merit Grigorian. It was a close and exciting fight. Defeated Tayfun Özkan. This division in one championship is so good. Ron, what did you think of this fight? Did the right man win, or did Tayfun get robbed?
Well, I was at my gym because my daughter, she kickboxes, and I kickboxer myself, and my coach he said, "Hey Ron, what do you think about Tayfun Özkan? Did he lose fair and square?" I said, "Yeah, man. Listen, Marat was the better guy at the fight, because it's not only the way you fight, but also the way you score. He used a lot of low kicks. He used his hands, and what I saw at Tayfun. Did you see the picture before they went up stage? He got something on his eye. He's got a really. I saw some people on Twitter asking, "What's wrong with Tayfun's eye?" So maybe he got some sort of condition and he went into the fight. But don't forget, it was a rocky road coming there because it was getting a title shot or not getting a title shot, fighting Marat Grigorian as planned. Then everything faded. Then he has to step up to Grigorian again. So that could be all factors. But he didn't agree. He didn't agree because he was on Twitter and I think he tagged everybody on Instagram, even like Chatri saying, "Listen, man, I didn't lose on the right way, But Marat Grigorian, that guy, man, he is also, I think, maybe unstoppable till somebody steps up because he trains at Hammers. We all know Hammers. Tim, we spoke to Nick Hammers when you were there at the event in Belgium. You see, those guys are really dedicated and they're really Dutch kickboxing style. And he went to Thailand for this fight, I believe. And I think, he won. He won fair and square.
I do agree with you. Brandon, do you have a rebuttal to that? Did the right man win in this fight?
Man, dude, you know me, man. I've been a fan of Tayfun Özkan since his Enfusion days, man. The Turkish turbine, been a fan of his, but I have to agree with Ron. I thought Grigorian took it. Say, man, dude, he just walks you down, man, dude, and that will get people tired, man. If you're backing up the entire time, you're gonna get tired. You're gonna get faded. And like say, man, dude, he has the power combinations, to the body. He has his low kicks in there. So yeah, I really thought that Tayfun Özkan did lose this fight. Yeah, it was a close one, but I still gave it to Grigorian.
Marat Grigorian, the Armenian, he's just such a good fighter. precise, powerful, picks his shots well. Like you said, very Dutch style. Like he's just so classically in that Dutch style. I absolutely love to see it. Let's move forward. Guys, are you ready for the big show? Let's do Glory Collision 4. That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
you guys
man.
ready? Go.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Let's start right from the top. A fight, a trilogy more than a decade in the making. They fought in 2008. They fought in 2009. They went very separate ways, being contenders or champions in whatever division, whatever organization they fought in. It's been a long road. They're at an interesting cross point of their career. You almost have to talk about this fight in two tones of like in their prime versus now, what we can expect. But Ron, again, you were a guest. I'm going to open it up to you. Alistair Overeem,
I'm honored.
3. Go ahead.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on before the fight, because there were some rumors that the fight wouldn't go through. One of the younger journalists, he was on a podcast and he said, "Yeah, I heard, that Badr ain't gonna fight." That stirred a lot of nervous people. I asked Gloria, what's happening here? They said, no, he's fighting, and those are just bad rumors. But it seems to me every time Badr fights, somebody is spreading some kind of rumor.
Yes.
And maybe it's because they don't want him to fight, or, I don't know what it is. But he seems not to be bothered because he had an interview a couple of days ago. And I saw him there sitting relaxed. It's always in Dutch, for you guys, it's really hard to understand, of course. But he was talking that he was really saying that everybody could beat him after his last loss. And I thought that was a really, how do you say that in English? It's really feisty to say that because he knows his flaws. But I think that he fought 2 times against Overeem, that he knows his flaws as well. And those guys, I don't know, if you look at those 2 guys, man, they look like in their prime. If you look at their bodies, they look like they're in their prime. And if you see Badr training, we were talking about Rico hitting bombs, but he's hitting bombs, and Overeem as well, And the fans know that if they see all the videos that were made at Hammer's gym, and it's going to be such an exciting fight, man. I'm getting goosebumps already thinking about this fight because everybody who hasn't been, and Brandon, because you stood in the ring at Glory, the vibe you get in the arena, man, when people like this coming up, even the walk-on, all those Moroccan people flashing flags, and my wife's Moroccan, so I feel a little bit like a Moroccan. But I tend to be neutral, but it's always difficult to be neutral in those fights. But man, I'm looking forward to this one, and you're going to be there, Tim. So you got to hold my hand, man. There.
I know I'm pumped for it, man. I'll see you there, Brandon. Sorry, Ron. Do you have an official prediction? I know you're excited, but do you have an official prediction?
Well, that's a tricky one, man. But I think Badr's going to win, and he has to win, because if he doesn't win, man, it's going to be his seventh loss or something since he got a contract. But I think he's so eager. I think he's going to win, because don't forget that the last fight, not the fight before where we were in Belgium, that the whole stuff went south. But the last the first fight with Rošek, I saw him there fighting, man. I thought, oh man, and with Rico also, it was just like this. So I think that if he is now already making up his plan, that he will look for a way to knock out Overeem, because I think it has to be on a knockout. But I give my cards to Badr,
Betting on Badr. I think that's a fair bet. That's totally reasonable. Brandon, what are your thoughts? Break down the fight. What do you think?
Man, so I'm so looking forward to this fight. So, like I said, they know each other. They had 2 fights, but again, like I said, then they went their separate ways. Badr Hari, like you said, right? Badr Hari I think in the press conference, he was saying how he's going to test Overeem, he's going to test his character, and everything like that. But to me, my thing is, I think Overeem just has to survive the first round, because if you look at Badr's last fight, first round coming good. Like you look at all his fights with Rico. Looks good in the first round, then all of a sudden he gets injured. His fight with Adek Bowie, he rocked Adek Bowie, dropped Adek Bowie. Adek Bowie got up, he dropped Badr. Badr was done. First fight with Rozic, killing him. killing him, and then boom, Hail Mary in the third round, like fight was over. And even in the second fight, basically everybody that was watching on TV basically thought Rosick was winning that fight anyway, you know. So to me, I want to say Badr Hari, he's got to come out and like he said in the second fight, he's got to put Overeem out in the first round. I think if Overeem can survive the first round, he's gonna win. Plus, you think about who was Overeem training with? Nick Hammers. Who was last training with Nick Hammers that beat Badr Hari? Rosick. Yeah, Rosick. So I'm saying, so to me, Nick Hammers has the game plan on how to beat Badr Hari. You know, and ever since Badr Hari has changed to his new gym, the SB gym, like I said, that was the first and second time he was with his new gym, and he went up against Peter and everything like that. So I think that Overeem's going to win this fight, but for kickboxing, I think Badr Hari needs to win this fight, because you can't let Overeem, who was just in MMA doing his thing, come over and just take you out like how he did the first time. Like we can't let history repeat itself. So to me, like I said, I think Overeem's going to take it, but for Badr's sake, for glory sake, for kickboxing sake, Badr Hari has to get the job done.
So wait, what is your actual prediction? What are you saying?
My prediction is Overeem's going to win this fight in the second or third round, and then that'll sink glory. No, I'm not saying that, man. I'm not saying that, man. Stop it.
And your prediction, Tim, because you're asking us, but what's your prediction?
The thing is with Overeem is that he's being inconsistent. He's a man who's fought through kickboxing and MMA. He's had over 60 or like almost 70 bouts, but he's not consistent in how he's fought throughout his entire career. Like when he was a young guy in Pride, he was like a very top position kind of grappler with some lengthy kickboxing. He went into kickboxing and became a very clinch heavy fighter. And then that clinch heavy fighting he used in like one UFC fight. And then he was like a pot shotting, like when he fought like guys like Walt Harris and Augusto Sakai and Yariz and Rosenstruck. Yeah, thank you. Rosenstruck. Floating all over the cage and stuff like that. Like he wasn't a clinch fighter anymore. He wasn't as defensively sound as he once was. So I don't know what Overeem we get in this fight. In my head, I have to think that he is going to be that 2010 K1 Grand Prix, clinch his way all the way to the finals kind of fighter. But that was 12 years ago. But then on the flip side, watching some Badr Hari fights just earlier today, he's not as tough as he used to be. And he was fast and he was explosive and he would take shots, but he would recover so quickly. Like Errol Zimmerman killed him and he got up. Yeah. It's like it wasn't a big deal. That today, he wouldn't be getting up from that kind of thing anymore. So he's a bit hittable. Who I actually think is going to win, I think Overeem actually wins this fight, but I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to see the other side. I think originally when this was announced, I said Badr, and then over time I'm starting to think like Overeem did some training in Thailand, whatever that means. And then
in Thailand. That's all it is. They say he just took the cameras. They decided just to go to Thailand. That's why, like we said earlier, with Grigorian coming from Thailand, it's just like that's just where they decided to have their training camp at, was just Thailand.
It's a great place to have your camp. Yeah, it's. I think Overeem, he got knocked out in his last official fight, but that was a year and a half ago. Badr Hari was struggling in his last couple of fights, and they were like, I don't know. I just think Overeem in this one, but I'm willing to be wrong. Like, tell me that I'm wrong, guys. Like, stop me when I'm wrong here. You know what I mean?
I'm curious, because he's going to do only the stand-up fight now. There's no way he can go to the ground. So that's for me an interesting thing. How long will he stand in the ring? Because if he can go to the ground, then you can take some maybe some rest or some stuff. But with Badr high pace, I think, and that's I think when I agree with Brandon on this, it has to happen in the first round somewhere, because if it doesn't happen there, then it won't happen in the fight. But he doesn't have a really good chin, Overeem, and if Badr hits him, that. Then it could be over. But it's a big guy, and they show a lot of love to each other, because when they're on the Dutch television last Sunday, there was a big interview with Overeem. He shows a lot of respect, and They talk about each other as like they are brothers, but in the ring they will lose that and they will go for it. But I think just like Brandon said, the aggressiveness is maybe a little bit gone in the years, and it's not, like the K1 when those guys fought each other. But don't forget, that both of them are really experienced. They know how to go a lot of rounds. And somewhere in the fight IQ, I think in the back from years ago, there will be some switch going off with one of them. But yeah, let's see for kickboxing's sake, and because you can talk what you want about Badr, but the guy is so popular, also for glory. He carries that organization on his shoulders. Some people say so, So let's see what happens. I'm really curious.
Badr is still a draw, and like you can see the numbers on like articles. Like I check when I'm writing something or a YouTube video of what really gets the clicks. And we've talked about tons of stuff from like K1 of Tenshin and Takuru. The stuff that gets clicks is just the name Badr Hari. For years we've been doing this. It's just Badr Hari's name, and he hasn't had a great late career from 2008 when he was really in his prime to now. Has been a tough time for the man. Now, Brandon, I'll refer to you here, but this is something that we've talked about of like, he never quite got that gold. What is Badr Hari's legacy in kickboxing, and where does he leave amongst, let's say he retires, win or lose this Saturday night, where does he rank amongst the greats?
I mean, he'll still be there for, for the heavyweights, because you still know him from the K1 days. I mean, sometimes I want to say before this run in glory, I feel like he was most known for his, I guess, outside the ring tactics, with with the kick, the headsy on the ground, with the kick to a Remy, just his overreactions, breaking things in locker rooms and everything like that. But I want to say this time around, it's a little more calmer, a little more cooler. So I think this has kind of helped him, kind of with his image. But to me, man, I mean, dude, he's still a name you'll know, man. He was still one of the guys. I mean, dude, you still won't forget, his spinning hook kick, where it is that he broke the guy's jaw in 3 places. Like you can't forget that.
He's some of the most amazing. Yeah, the Stefan Leko knockout might be one of the best knockouts in kickboxing history. He's just an unforgettable figure. But Ron, let me ask you. You're saying if he loses, he might call it. And that's completely fair. I agree with you on that. Where does he rank amongst the greats? We're talking about guys like Peter Arts or Andy Hug and these kinds of amazing heavyweights. Schilt. Where does he kind of fit into this picture here?
Well, I think he fits in that picture because he's one of the greatest, and a lot of people always criticize him, but I met him a few times and I was at Mike's gym, and Badr's just being Badr, he's a cool guy, but you see that he's a nice guy as well, because he's taking time for people to go in the picture. I think that's also a sign of greatness, not only in the ring, and of course he did some things that people don't like, but who doesn't, because he's a human being like everybody else. But in that ring, yeah, I think he's among the other GOATs, because he's of that stature. And I don't think that the fights he did with Glory take down that stature, because you have to think about his legacy in the K1 and the other fights he did. And don't forget, he's been around for a long, long time, and who can say that?
No, the guys that he was
fighting
beating
at this age.
Yeah, he's still fighting at this age. The guys that he was beating in 2008, like I think Remy is younger than him. Remy retired like years and years ago, well out of his prime, well out of shape. Badr's still going. He's not giving up, and he shows flash, despite clearly being older than he was. There is moments that Badr Hari shows flashes of brilliance even today, right? Like, stop me when I'm wrong here, but that's absolutely true, right?
You're right. No, like I said, man, like to me, man, the best showing was, I mean, his second fight with Rico. He was winning that fight hands down. And then boom, he got hurt in the fight. Like, I think if he didn't get hurt, he would have been the champion. Sure. Exactly. Like, he was winning that fight, man. It would have been better if that fight was 3 rounds instead of 5. But that's just how it goes. And the same thing, man. His fight, his fight with Warchek as well. He was dominating that fight as well. Like I said, there has been glimpses where he's just looked phenomenal. He looked unbeatable. He looked like, Badr Hari, man, forget the bad boy. He was the golden boy, but
Well, but what Brandon said is right, because when I remember that he lost from Roshek, and it was so weird, man, because he was winning the fight, and I just looked down at my iPhone like this, and my wife was next to me, and I saw her doing like, I think, what's happened? I said, and there he was laying on the canvas in a split second. I was, huh? What's happened here, man? Everybody, at the press stand, everybody was like, whoa, what happened here? Because it happened suddenly, and maybe it was a lucky kick, but what is a lucky kick? I mean, if it hits, it hits, and if it's hit on the right spot, you go. And I agree with Brandon, but let's see what happens. I'm really looking forward. And don't forget, he's got a lot of followers, not only here, worldwide. Not only in the Netherlands. The Moroccan people see him as a god, because the youth see him as a god. And he's of that stature.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, like he is so big. Like I know a lady who's out in New York City. She doesn't really watch kickboxing or anything, but she's Moroccan, but she knows who Badr Hari is. Like I remember one time I was talking about it, and she brought up Badr Hari to me. She was like, and I was like, yeah, he's fighting or something like that. She was like, oh, and she was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to check it out. But like I said, if you're Moroccan, anywhere you are in the world, you know who Badr Hari is.
That's a fact.
Yeah, no, he's one of the big and fought across generations and stuff like that. And even when he made his debut in K1, he was kind of preordained to be a great. Like his trainer said, like he's already one of the best kickboxers of all time. And he entered the top 5, and in 20 years of fighting, I don't think he's left the top 5. Except for some weird stuff here and there. But yeah, he's just otherworldly. And honestly, I'll be sad to see him go. He's such a talented fighter.
For sure, but don't forget where he comes from. Tom Emmerink, the founder of the kickboxing in the Netherlands. He trained in the Chakuriki, and those guys had their 50th anniversary 2 weeks ago. And if you see, I talked to Hesdy last week because he's fighting Rico, and he's from Chakuriki as well. And I said, "Are you going to do the fight with Rico in old school style?" I said, "Yeah, man, we're really old school kickboxers, and that's what Badr is. He's a really old school kickboxer. Those guys were fighting on the streets. They were fighting each other, the gyms, Chakuriki against Majiro, so they're really tough guys, and he's a really tough guy. He comes from the streets, and I think he works his way up because I think he is as great as a king, when he comes to Morocco. The people, they carry him on his hands, because that's how they see him. And even here, you've seen it, when the fans are there, man, they massively go to the walk-on, and they just follow him with their eyes, chanting at him, and there he goes, So, yeah, and he always has got good music on when he comes up. See that the people relate to that. It always has good relation to it, and he's got stamina. If you see him, and I'm a big guy, but he's really big. I thought, gee, man, he's really big. So. Imagine standing there in the ring against somebody like that. For Overeem, it's going to be the same.
He's almost like one of those figures that knows that he's kind of a person of history or a person worth renown, because a lot of fighters don't realize that they're a public figure. Badr Hari, with those walkouts and the hood over the top of
the famous red hood, yeah,
it looks so cool. And a lot of fighters don't get that. Like, make this a moment in time. And this is why we're here talking about this fight. It feels larger than life. It's like this feels bigger than the sport itself, and that's due to how big these guys are. But yeah, it's just looking forward to it. Any other thoughts, Brandon, before we head out? Before we go to the next few fights?
Yeah. Let's go to the next fight.
Yeah,
Sorry, Ron. Anything else?
No, nothing, man. I said my stuff, so let's see what happens.
Awesome stuff. Tiffany Van Soest is looking to defend her Glory Women's Super Bantamweight Championship against the French-born Sarah Moussadak. I don't know, you guys. What do you like? Man, this is another Tiffany gets a knockout. Am I wrong? I don't have anything else to say.
I would say it's not. Her opponent definitely comes, brings it, tough girl, goes forward, has power in her hands. But I just think that Tiffany Van Soest is a fan of the movement, man. She has good footwork. I think she's going to use that to maybe tire her opponent out, change angles, pick her shots. Could get a finish maybe in the later rounds. I think she did an interview where she's looking to maybe get it done earlier, than her last fight, because her last fight was in the 5th round. So maybe she's looking to get it in the 4th and earlier. But we shall see. Like I said, Tiffany Van Soest has really been changing up her game. I think her training in the Netherlands has definitely helped her out. She's trying new things. Her combinations are looking better than ever. So I am going with Ann still. But like I said, man, I mean, her opponent though is coming to bang. So we shall see what happens. When somebody has knockout power, they hit hard. They always have a puncher's chance, as we like to say.
Ron, as Brandon said, Sarah really has nothing to lose in this fight. She's going to be bringing it all. Does Sarah have a chance in this fight?
Well, if she brings her knockout power, yes, she will. But just like Brandon said, knockout is going to be in a small corner, we say here. So when she hits her, because the last fight that Tiffany Versus had with the Japanese girl, that was a real tough one. She was a real tough opponent. I did, see how the French girl is doing. But if she's really got knockout power and she hits her, that's good. It's going to be over. And if you have nothing to lose to fight against the champion, you will give everything you have. So I think she has to be good on the defensive as well. Because if she comes through with punches or, never slack, because I think Tiffany won't, because she's really sharp and she's really down to earth person. She knows, I think that if she has a flaw in her defense, then but let's see, man, I think the only opponent she had of really stature was Anissa Maxson.
Man, and now Maxson is in one, and they won't give her a title shot. But justice for Anissa Maxson here, she needs a title shot.
That's a lot of shit as well, bullshit, man. They have to give the girl a title shot, man.
They gave JT an interim title in a different sport. Get Anissa Maxson a belt already, man. We talk about it every week. It's like, man, Maxson is one of those fighters who just doesn't have the belt, but she probably is number one right now. She's probably the best.
She's a champ, man. She's a champ. She kills everybody in that ring, man. Doesn't matter who.
Yep.
Absolutely. Sergey Masleboyev will be fighting for the vacant light heavyweight championship against Tariq Khabibez. I always screw up the name.
Khabaz.
I swear everyone says it differently, and I just screwed up. I'll just say Tariq. But so Tariq is coming down from heavyweight. He was a former Enfusion champion. Sergey Masleboyev is on a multi-fight streak and looking quite good. He did say some interesting things when we were interviewing him of he wants to win the title and then take a break. Wants to take a rest after this. So whatever that attitude might be, Brandon, I'll start with you. Sergey Masleboyev and Tariq. What do you think of this one?
I'm going with Masleboyev. Sergey. I'm going with Sergey. The reason being is because, man, one, Tank, like say he's coming down from heavyweight to lightweight, and plus two, I want to say he's on a 2-fight losing streak. His last couple fights, the man has lost, but somehow he's getting a title shot. So I just think that Sergey is just going to bring it to him, maybe put him out in the second, third round, and and he will be your light heavyweight champion.
Oh, I co-sign with you. Ron, what do you think? What do you see in this one?
Well, let's say we had a poll last week on our socials, and 87% of the people who reacted said that going to be Tariq is going to take the title.
Moroccans were voting.
A lot of them. No, but let's say, what I have to think about it. I think Tariq is a really great guy, and he deserves this chance as well because he's been through a lot as well within different organizations that they didn't treat him really right. And I know him really personally. I know him personally. He's a fireman during the day, but the guy's so dedicated, man. And Rico, he even declared that he had a big, tough fight against Tariq. So. And I interviewed Masleboyev, what was it? I think just before the summer. And but that's a dedicated guy as well. It's going to be a very interesting fight. But I think that Tariq, he is used to fight at heavyweight. Now he goes to a lighter division. And I saw him on some pictures and he really slimmed down. But that guy's got real punching power. So I think I have to agree with our followers that Tariq is going to take home this one because he's a real pit bull in that ring. And I think I vouch for Tariq.
That's actually a true thing of Tariq that I don't give him enough credit, that he is actually quite tough. He's fought like Plazabat and Verhoeven and stuff like that. He doesn't give up. He just is nonstop. However, I'm not going to pick against the win streak that Sergey Masleboyev has. He's looked like a sniper sometimes when he's in there. He's just tactical. He's smart. He sounds focused coming in. So I'm going to be picking Masleboyev. But let's move forward on to the next one. Tijani Beztadi. He's looking good. He's been looking good in his last few fights, but now he's got a really tough opponent standing ahead of him. Stoyan Koprolevensky is a hard fighter to fight against. And I like Tijani. He's a nice young kid. I can't believe how young he is, and he's getting better in between fights. But Stoyan Koprivensky, super talented. Ron, what do you see in this one? This is a great one for the lightweight title.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that Stoyan is going to give him some big, going to give him a big fight, because remember, he's from Mike's gym, where every big champion come from. And when we had our media day with Jamal, he was training there as well. But it was a little bit, sad, because there was a lot of mainstream press, and they don't know the fighters, they had to come up for Jamal, but he was training there as well. And the other guys, there were 3 guys with me, all fight sports guys, blogging or website. And we were watching Stoyan, and look at him, man, so something's coming up, and we didn't know that he was going up for the title, but he's got that stamina as well. And I think it's going to be a good, heavy fight against Tijani, because Tijani, the last fights he was fighting for his mother, when his mother got ill, so he's got some extra motivation. He's defending his title, so I think, I think he will keep his title, but it's going to be a really hard fight.
Yeah, it's really Stoyan Koprivensky, super talented guy. This is a rematch from a few years ago. Brandon, what do you see in this lightweight title match?
I mean, this is a fight that I have my eyes on, because this is my weight class. So I always got my fight. I always got my eyes on the lightweights. But I think this one is going to be and still as well. Like saying, I like Stoya as well. But the thing is, to me, I think he just doesn't have the power to stand to try to put Basadi away, because his nickname is the Sniper, saying he can pick you apart, but I don't think he has the power to put you out. And just like you said, Basadi's just been on a tear. He's been putting people out. He's been getting bigger, been getting stronger. So again, I think Stoya is a tough guy. I think he does have the endurance to last, the whole 5 rounds if it comes to that, because he's a tough guy. But I just think that Basadi is just going to be too much bigger for him, stronger, and he's just going to be cracking on him.
Yeah, I got to pick Basadi. He talks to me every once in a while, so if you talk to me on Instagram,
then everybody wins.
Oh yeah, that's the guy I'm gonna pick. So Tijani, that's my boy. He's gonna win. He's gonna look super good. He has surprised me with how good he is getting in between fights. Like the Josh Johnson fight we talked about it. Like we hyped it up. It wasn't close. Toddy looked like he was in a different league than him, right? Like Ron, one thing though, Toddy is in a weight class where one championship has so many good fighters. How do you judge Tezjadi on a pound-for-pound basis? Is he number one in his weight class? Is it Super Bond? Like, Ron, where does he fit into this picture?
Well, talking about those Thai guys, it's always difficult, because those guys are really pound-for-pound, are really good guys. You talk about Super Bond, but don't forget Reggie Neersel.
I love Reckon. He's
a Dutch guy as well. He's fighting for the title against the Thai. He's got a long name, but it's Pia Somok or something like that. As you guys are difficult pronouncing the Dutch names, I have it with those Thai guys. No, but I think he's really, he's one of the best, and he proved that already. And let's see what comes up after this, because there's another good lightweight we're sitting here with. It's on that side. What's Brandon? So I think who's going to fight him next? Because someday all the fighters will be, there will be no more fighters. So who's going to be a challenge for him? And that's always the question, And I think that if he's got to be challenged, Stoyan is a good one. But who's another good? Are they going to take somebody in? Are they going to take somebody in from another organization to fight him next? What happens? Because in Glory itself, and you want Uriah, don't you, Brennan? You want Uriah? What do you think?
I wouldn't mind it, man. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, there are plenty of names out there, in that division. But Muhammad Uriah is somebody who I definitely have my eyes on. There's Garrick Ballet, who I definitely have my eyes on for him for a longer time than Uriah. But I just knew that Uriah was free, so that's one of the reasons why I mentioned his name. But yeah, man. I mean, there are plenty of guys for him, because there's also what's his name? Was it Luke Whelan? In England, he's available. For Glory as well. I think he's been staying busy. And was it MTGP? Over there in England, was it like Muay Thai Grant? Their kickboxing organization over there. But I think he's ranked number 4 in their division. So I mean, he's somebody who maybe could get a title shot for them. Then there's what's his name, man? My man from Israel. I forgot his name, man.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I was it Gershon. Yeah,
Gershon,
like
yeah.
He's been on a tear as well. I remember I had fought with him. I fought on the same card as him as Glory 55. So I mean, they definitely do have options, for him, for the lightweight title. They just gotta make people be active and get busy.
Yeah, I think that's a point. You have a point there, keeping those people busy and active. Because if you got so many people to choose from, who are you going to put in the ring? Because I think that now they announce there are going to be more events a year because they made a deal with Videoland here, so they're going to broadcast it. And they're promising to give the new talents a go. So keep those people active, and then you get more interesting fights. And I think that if they put Brandon in there, because he deserves a shot, he deserves a shot at Glory, and some other fighters in there, they make how do you say it in English, a pool, so they can fight, each other's, maybe some lightweight tournament, maybe, or something like that, to get a good contender, and see what happens.
Be all over that. And that's one thing that we said for a while now. And I know COVID really affected it, but we just needed more movement in the divisions. You know what I mean? Like, we just needed more fights to happen. All right, let's set up the last one. As you said, unstoppable Thai guys. Speaking of Pech Porong, he is walking around with all the titles. He got the Rise Championship. He's got the Glory Championship. And he's going to be fighting Abraham Vedaliz at Glory Collision 4 in what is going to be the first of the title fights for the Featherweight Championship. Gentlemen? It's all good. We're good. Okay, go ahead. Ron, go ahead and start us off. Unstoppable Thai guys.
You having a side job? You having a side job there, man?
Yeah, Ron, please go ahead. Stop me when I'm wrong, that I say Thai guys are just unstoppable.
Yeah, Pech, he's from a different league as well. He steps into another organization, grabs the title, and comes back. So I think... I talked to him. That was a couple of years ago. It was in the Amsterdam Arena, the stadium of Ajax, the football team. And then he defended his title. And I talked to him. He's cool, He's just like he didn't fight. He had a big fight and was like, okay, well, nothing happened. You know what I mean? And those guys have that. Those Thai guys have that kind of attitude, because they're brought up like that. And I think that's their strength. And I don't think that Vidal stands any chance to him.
That's the most conclusive pick that you've had.
To cut it short, man. To cut it short, I don't think he stands a chance against Pech.
Brandon, go ahead. What do you think? We talk about Pech all the time. I think this is the guy that we agree on the most with.
Yeah, no. Baseball round said is true, man. To me, this is a Pech fight. The thing is, man, we don't know what has Vidal been doing ever since the pandemic. Like Pech, we know he's been fighting. He's been staying active. He's been going up against world competition because he was in Rise. He beat the Rise champion, became the champ. Vidal's, we don't know what he's been doing. The last thing we know about Vidal's is that he tried to step up in competition, and what is it? Oh man, where is it? Oh, they don't even got it on here. He lost to
look it up in the wiki.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. He lost to Sergey Adamchuk. That was his last fight. So you're going from Sergey Adamchuk, which you lost, and you got put to sleep. He got knocked out. I remember that fight. And now you're getting the champ. Bro, they're not doing him any favors. It could be another stoppage, man. That left body kick right there, to the liver. He could be getting stopped again.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. Ron, go ahead.
Yeah, well, there's another fighter that was in the kind of pool, like Guto Innocente. Did you see that he lost his first KO loss at one from?
Yep. Yeah, he was losing in the Grand Prix. He lost to the light heavyweight champion Roman Kryklia. Yeah. It was a good fight.
Yeah, but I think that wasn't the fair stoppage because I think he could have fought on because he was not really. He got 2 or 3 maybe hits, but he was clear of his mind. He was there standing like fit. Yeah. I don't know why they stopped the fight because I had, people mail you, and we got a lot of comments saying, is that guy he fought? Is that some kind of Rico Verhoeven from one? Does he have to win all the time? A lot of people giving comments in our socials because they they think that the one is having their head above him. There's a Dutch saying that says you're going to have to protect you from the better fighters. And Guto, I think, when he fought on, he had a good chance.
Guto's super
What's your
talented.
opinion about that?
Man, I think Roman is so talented, but Guto was coming over. He's fought for like heavyweight championships and stuff like that. I was really surprised that he lost to a light heavyweight. Like, Brendan, did you catch the fight? What did you think of this one?
Yeah, no, I mean it definitely did seem a little like kind of like early because like say when the fight was stopped, like Guto straight looked at the ref, stuck his hands. I was like, wait, what's going on? Because it didn't really when it got stopped, it didn't really seem like he was getting tagged. Like it seemed like he was moving, blocking a good amount of the shot. So I was kind of like, I don't know what's going on over here.
Yeah, the thing is, Ron, let me ask you, because you're saying like it should have continued. Do you think it would have changed the conclusion of the fight? Ultimately would Roman have won, or would it have changed things? I think is the core, right?
Well, I think we never know, but I think that knowing Guto and his fighting style, he always has that knife gang stuff going on on his. And we saw him against Rico fighting. He's got that capoeira style of fighting, with all those tricks. I thought he would stand a chance because he came down from heavyweight to lightweight, and that guy's a real killer, man. Just look at him. Yeah. I interviewed him twice, and and his father also, and if you hear how they train and do, and he's got that killer mentality, and I think that he would have beat him. That's my opinion. And why did they stop it this early? Because you give a guy a chance, and then you stop it. But that's we never know, because there are always people saying, there's some tricks going on. Maybe some people got paid, but we don't know that. You never know. And I don't think that would be the case, but I think maybe bad judgment.
One championship refereeing sometimes is so inconsistent. Like the last fight, some guy was doing the splits, and the refs were like, "Yeah, no, finish him off." Like, dude, he's doing the splits. He's knocked out. And like the Angela Lee one, she was pretty much knocked out, but she got to continue. But Guto, they stopped Guto. Like, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, it's cool. But yeah, anyway, we are out of time, guys. We are out of time. Brandon. Yeah. Tell the people where they can find more of you. Shout out who you need to shout out. All that good stuff.
Man, you know where it is. Find me on the socials, man. Instagram, Twitter, Cuttino TSMA. I mean, more on Twitter because that's where I like to interact with the people. Remember, man, keep following us on Kickin It. We apologize that we didn't get a show out to you the last time around, but somebody
it was on me.
Wasn't me though. You saw me on vacation. I was still putting in work. But yeah, guys, man, just keep liking, subscribing, telling us, saying, man, we want to keep growing kickboxing, let more people know about this awesome sport.
Ron of VechtSport, shout out who you need to shout out. The last word goes to you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much for the honor. Well, follow VechtSportinfo. We're Dutch side, but there's a translation button on it, so you can follow it in different languages. We're always on the spot, always on the kickboxing spot here. So follow us on the socials. Go to the website. Go in Google. We're always there. So if you want to know something about Dutch kickboxing, you will find us. Looking forward to the new project you're working on, Beyond Kick, Timothy. So following those guys as well, and let's see what we just follow us, and hope to see you guys all this weekend at the Gelderland Dome in Arnhem for the biggest fight of this year.
Oh, absolutely. Links will be down below for everything. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.